Hey folks, this is latitude adjustment. Wasn't planning on doing this video, but let me just show you we're anchored right now. Is this off Beausoleil Island? An anchorage called Cedar Spring Anchorage, right? It seems to be very peaceful now.
Beautiful night.
Beautiful night. Everybody's enjoying themselves. We're
in shock.
Yes, we're sitting here in shock and disbelief. What had happened is we were anchored close by to here, and as you know, we've been doing a lot of upgrades now in terms of anchoring. We have a Rockna 55-pound anchor. We've just changed to all chain. I've got 200 feet of chain. There's a swivel on it. We've just put a Mantis bridle on there as well, and we had that all set up. So we anchored in 14 feet of water. We put 75 feet of chain out. We put up the anchor alarm. We monitored it for 24 or 36 hours that we were anchored here. Everything appeared good. It was holding. It was fine. We swung around. Everything was good. We decided we were going to go grab some dinner around 4 o'clock or so, which is a dinghy ride about half hour away. So we went ahead and did that. We were sitting down for dinner. Wind piped up. Wasn't forecasted. They were forecasting possibly gusts of 30 kilometers an hour coming from the west side of the island, which we're on the east side, and sustained winds of about 10 to 12 kilometers an hour. So not a lot of concern. However, as we're sitting for dinner, the winds piped up a heck of a lot more. I mean, it looked like gusts of 60 kilometers, 80 kilometers an hour. Umbrellas were falling down. So we had our dinner. We were enjoying it. I did a little post on Facebook about latitude adjustment. We're being nicely anchored. Took a few pictures of it. People are commenting. You know, I always appreciate those comments. And then somebody says, "Oh, we just rescued that boat. It was drifting, and at Cedar Springs Anchorage." So I'm looking at that, and okay.
And your response was, "I don't think so."
Yeah. I mean, everything I just said, I said, "I don't think so." And then, you know, they said, check Messenger. So I checked Messenger, and I see somebody's been trying to call me 4 or 5 times through Messenger. So, okay, I finally respond to the call, and they tell me, yeah, your boat was drifting. We saw it. It was all the way across the bay. However, my son and husband were able to jump on board, and they were able to get it started, and it's now safely anchored. Well, you can imagine what we're thinking and what's going through our minds. And you know, they said, okay, you don't need to rush because it's all at hand right now. Well, easy enough to say. Now, a couple little hints that what was going on. I've got the ability to check my Victron system with the VRM. It tells me what the battery conditions, etc. are, and I took a look at it, and it was strange. I had happened to look at the engines were charging the battery system. I mean, how can that be? There must be something wrong with the VRM, but it was showing it was charging. A little bit later, I have Nebo on the boat, which will automatically start logging once it starts moving. I then get an email from Nebo saying, "Oh, your boat's moving." I was like, what the hell is going on here? So I said, okay, you know, thank you. We're going to head back, you know, right now. So we ended up coming to the anchorage. Gentleman explained that they're on a 54-foot sea ray. So we spotted it right away. I could see where latitude adjustment was anchored. Everything seemed good. So we went on board. They knew right away who we were, and we thanked them profusely with what they did. And they said, yeah, the boat was drifting. It was about 50 meters from hitting shore.
Yeah.
So they were able to get on board. And I don't know if this is, you know, fate, but just before we went to dinner, I talked to Tammy about should we leave the ignition keys in the boat. You know, I had heard that that's a good idea. If anything ever happens to your boat, then somebody can at least, you know, take command of it. That's what we did, and that's what happened. So if I can give you any sort of lessons please, do everything you can in terms of proper anchoring techniques. And do leave your keys in the ignition if something happens. In this case, it saved the boat from hitting the rocks.
Well, even if it was middle of the night, and you had to get up and do something, your
Yeah,
keys are there.
absolutely.
And there was another couple on the dock that saw our boat.
Yeah, they saw the boat as well. They had a little bit of trouble getting up to the boat, so they ended up calling some the other boaters, which we just talked about. So the combination, they were able to save latitude adjustment.
Thank God.
And yeah, thank God. I mean, we're just sitting here trying to process it, as to, is this fate telling us that we should not be boating? But I don't know what else we could have done to prevent it. And as I talked to these other boaters, who have some experience, they said, don't worry about it. It happens. It happened to us. The other boater, same thing. It happened to them.
It sounds like we had a lot of seaweed on our anchor. Right?
Yeah, they had brought it up, and they said it was a lot of seaweed that was tied to it. So it could have been holding for the regular winds that we had, but when we got this fluke of wind gusting up, the seaweed just broke off, and unfortunately that's not something that we could really tell.
No, then it's just a ball dragging.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely. So that was the adventure of latitude adjustment today.
Oh, great start to season 2024.
Yeah, I don't want to have any more experiences like this.
No.
So I hope that we can sleep tonight. I appreciate any comments that go to making us even more experienced boaters and better boaters. And I just hope that this doesn't happen again, and hope that others in a similar position take our experience and keep it in mind so it doesn't happen to you, because it's not a fun thing.
No.
We're signing off for now, and hope for fair seas for the rest of our journeys.
Mhm.